It's time again for your home for everything CORT. This is the fastest show in sim racing, the CORT Report. This is your one-stop shop for news for the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series. And the CORT National Cup Series. And now, the guys who will bring it all to you. David Amboys.
My brand.
Chris Sweat.
Come on, baby, here we go.
John Dragonetti.
Bye, have a great time.
And Julian Bedore. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the CORT Report. I am your host, David Amboys. A jam-packed show as we're going to be talking Indianapolis and the Indy 250. I'm alongside my trusty co-host, John Dragonetti.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Okay. All right. Well, we will make do, however so. Also, joining us tonight, our special guest, Corey Stevens. Corey, how you doing?
Not too bad. How about y'all?
Doing fantastic, and man, Mike Husby does it again. The Cinderella story. It's like Rocky 2. Mike Husby wins again, and he wins at Indianapolis.
Yeah, and he was pretty strong all race, qualified in the top 3, and was solidly in the top 5 the entire time.
Yep, and he had a really good run going all night. And why don't we go ahead and run down the finishing order for the CORT Indianapolis 250, the 4th edition. Presented by CORTRacing.com, your source for everything CORT. Mike Husby with the win, but man, Tim Silliman was right there at the finish.
And you can say it as well as I did. We honestly thought that he would try to pull something off, but was just ever so close, but never so far. Trying to, wow, I messed that up. Coming out of 4 on that last lap after that really strange last lap shootout.
Yeah, and the amazing thing was it looked eerily similar to 1992 Indy 500 with Scott Goodyear. I mean, it was amazingly similar. Kyle Young, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, even the winning picture, I didn't realize how eerily similar it was.
Yeah, and Andrew Hayes, the man who runs CORT World Series on Twitter, be sure to interact with him. He tweeted a picture, and it was eerily similar, crazy similar, with the two finishes. Kyle Young, after scoring was updated, came home 3rd, a good run, and sure to help him out in the points chase.
Yeah, I think at one point he was almost, or was a lap down. Well, I know he was at least fairly mired back, but after the last restart was able to fight through, and 3rd place is really solid, considering how his race was in the early going.
Kyle, of course, sits now 12th, I believe, in the point standings. Yeah, 12th in the point standings right now after Indianapolis, and he is sure to attempt to improve on that next week at Milwaukee. Brian Sullivan, in his first start in the Trading Paint Series, he came home 4th.
You absolutely cannot complain with that. First start, top 5 in your first start at Indianapolis, nonetheless. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was a good run by Brian Sullivan. Tyler Tucker, the man who is now 2nd in points, he came home 5th.
So we didn't really hear a lot from him. I know he was in the top 3 most of the race, but he really just kept it quiet and just had a good quote-unquote points day.
He ended up a lap down on that final run to the checkered flag, along with me. I finished 6th, was okay. The goal was to get through Indianapolis. We didn't really have outright speed, but we were able to keep it going and keep it moving and able to get to the end of one of these things for once.
Yes.
Riley Roush came home 7th in the number 64 Control Freak car.
Disappointed. We were both really disappointed with that. Yeah, he was retardedly, ridiculously fast in practice and in qualifying, and to just not be able to cap off the weekend we wanted, he was really just disappointed.
Situations.
Yeah, absolutely. John came. Even when Chris isn't here, you're gonna keep track. Even when Chris isn't here.
Sorry.
Good golly, Miss Molly. John Dragnetti came home 8th. Meh. Moving on. Wow, it was a smoke racing sandwich, as a matter of fact. Alex Boffley came home 9th.
That's why I went meh, because I realized that.
At least y'all are consistent.
Shut up. Hey, you.
Gee.
Hey, it's better than what I did, so.
Yes, more on that here in a minute. Matt Harrington rounds out the top 10. He came home 10th.
He was looking forward to the race and unfortunately had a little bit of trouble finish. Well, actually, I think he got involved in one of the late cautions and just never worked out how he wanted.
Harrington actually won the Freedom 100, the exhibition race with the Star Mazdas last night, or the night before. So 10th place is kind of let down, but at least he can take solace in the fact that he took home the hardware in the Freedom 100, and more on that later as an exciting development for the CORT Training Paints Championship, or for the CORT Championship online racing teams in general later on. Moving on to the second page of results, Andrew Hayes came home 11th.
And same thing, he was ridiculously consistent and in the top 10 all race, and again, like pretty much everyone else back here somehow got involved in some kind of incident or had some kind of mishap, which kind of just turned the rest of the day south.
Well, Indianapolis is known for its high attrition rates, so to see a lot of these names not being in the running at the end is not surprising at all.
You know, it's surprising with Andrew because I spoke with him during practice and he said he didn't have much speed. He had trouble in the draft, but I mean, in that case, I would take 11th if you didn't like the way your car was handling.
Well, no, without a good point stays in the top 10 in points, so good for Andrew.
Oh, yes.
Jeff Backey Jr. came home 12th.
And didn't really get a chance to talk to him after the race, but he was lightning quick and just tried to almost play it safe, doing kind of like a super speedway strategy, kind of lay in the bag and just wait to the end, but didn't entirely work out. I know he's a little disappointed after qualifying top 5, top 10. I can't remember specifically where. 6th, top 10. But we hope to have him back. We had fun racing with him.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy racing with Jeff anytime that we can touch base, connect again, and we always welcome Jeff back with open arms. We enjoyed running with Jeff, and unfortunately, if this is the last time we see him, then that's the last time we see him. But the open call for Jeff Beck Jr. to come back is an open call. Come on back anytime. Kevin Bartelt in the 4th David Danboys Developments entry. Actually, that was Chris Sweat, but Kevin is not going to be running all the races for us in Train Paints. He came home 13th.
And like I will probably say 6 more times, crap. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, I believe he was involved in an incident. I can't remember who it was with, but it was definitely an incident, and it ended his day at Indianapolis. Carson Abe. Hey, look at some of the names that Carson Abe beat, and came home 14th, just outside of the points by 2 positions.
But definitely something to be proud of. That's a significant bump up from what's been usually happening to him, some bad luck. So hopefully he shakes it off and it's only up from here.
Yeah, something that Carson can build from, and with the announcement of a new series coming, more on that later. Once again, I'm going to hype this thing to crazy. The announcement of a new series, and he's entered in that, and I think that new series will definitely help him out.
And we hope to get more people because it's going to be awesome.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Sunday nights will never be the same again. Sean Brightsman in the CORTRacing.com entry, he was fast for a while, but was involved in an incident and came home 15th. I believe he was involved in an incident with Alex Boffley, as a matter of fact.
You are unfortunately correct.
Yeah, I believe Boffley or Brightsman was coming down to pit lane, and Boffley kind of just rear-ended him. And like we say again, Indianapolis, you got to be on it 24/7, even when you pit.
Well, you break concentration for a split second and done.
Yep, it's just a case of it's taxing. It's one of the most taxing races that we have every season. Cody McCorkle came home 16th. He was showing some flashes of fast this month of May, quote unquote, but unable to come up with the finish that he needed.
But definitely cannot discount anything that he did in this race, because he was, like you said, he showed flashes of speed. So he has potential in there. It's just got to be right place, right time, right circumstances, and hopefully it works out for him sometime down the road. Maybe this season.
Will Roberts, the points leader coming in, is now second in points. Back-to-back finishes outside of the points. He came home 17th.
Not what he was looking for at all. He was super hyped, super excited to try to keep that point lead, but unfortunately it just didn't work out that way. But he's still tied for second.
Yep, tied for second with 11 points with Tyler Tucker. Hey, Corey Stevens. A little quiet. Now we're gonna call you up here. Corey, how was your event?
There out of nowhere, I got some speed and just, I don't know what happened. We were running up in the top 5 almost the entire time, and about halfway, thing just got tied off of 4, and no idea where that came from. Hit the wall and was on my roof all the way down pit road. That was exciting.
Yeah, I believe your helmet's probably going to need a new paint coat on there after what happened on Monday night. An unfortunate thing for Corey Stevens on Monday. But is there any chance we could see you in any other Train Paints races, or are you going to be sticking with the National Cup side of things?
We will possibly see. I definitely had a blast. It was my first ever Trading Paints race, first ever time getting in any kind of open wheel car, and I had a blast. I mean, it was honestly fun, but God, you gotta have quick reflexes, and with the steering wheel that I've got, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and get in? What's the deal with your wheel? I mean, you said it earlier on TeamSpeak HD for people who know, but those who might not know, what's your wheel being held together with?
Okay, well, when I moved from my old home 3 years ago, I packed it a wrong way, and if anyone's familiar with the G25, you will know right where the metal comes off at the top and the paddles are, well, there's a little groove there, kind of like similar near the bottom, and something caught that and just ripped it almost completely off. But there's a wire that runs through the center of your wheels, and it's actually holding it there. So what I've done to kind of give myself some stability is duct tape it and wrap fabric around the duct tape so my hands don't get sticky while I'm driving. Giggity.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a dedicated racer right there.
Yes, I sent Julian a picture of it a few days ago, and I'm assuming he didn't send it out, but I will take a picture of it again and get it out there for y'all to see. It looks atrocious.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I really want to see it.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you just really, it's like John Jones's toe. You just don't want to look at it, but part of you is like, okay, I want to look at it.
Yeah, it's hard to drive because I can put my hands up near. I have to have my hands at 9 and 3 at all times, or else you won't be able to race because the top part is actually extremely loose. So I have to drive at 3 and 9 at all times. When I used to drive at 10 noon, somewhere in there. So.
Good golly, Miss
I don't see how you can do that.
That's twice I used good golly Miss Molly this week. What's going on with me?
I don't know, you're turning...
I'm turning into a 50s housewife. Gracious.
Stop it.
Gracious.
Stop it.
Alright, why don't we get back to this running order. Matt Trace came home 19th.
and he was digging to try to get back up later in the race, and unfortunately had a little bit of trouble on, I think one of the restarts, a little bit of contact, and that just kind of did it in from there.
Yeah, I believe he was involved in that one incident that happened right after a restart with Trace. So tough break with that 5 group, but they'll be back. Hopefully, we see them at Milwaukee, and hopefully that team rebounds from it. Jake Finch came home 20th, and anytime Jake can come back and run with us, and he has run the entire season so far, but I believe everything but Okayama, the road course in Japan. But Jake, again, for the 3rd straight race in court, gets involved in an incident and doesn't get a yellow.
Yeah, that's the strangest thing, but we really hope to see him back. It's really awesome racing with him. Definitely adds a little spice, a little difference to it. Diversity, that was the word.
Yeah, diversity. I like to think of it as a ship.
An old wooden ship.
Yes. But I quickly just want to... Yeah, I want to go over this because we had a stretch in the middle of that race that we had a lot of cautions, quote unquote, that didn't trigger a caution. And I just want to reiterate what CORT's policy when it comes to yellow flags are. We do not throw it unless the first caution of the race, like the first one of those types of instances happens. If we throw it, we will throw it for the remainder of the event. Anything like that happens. If it is not thrown, then we will not throw it for the remainder of the event. It's to prevent any sort of possible bias or anything. It's just a straight. If we don't throw it the first time, we don't throw it the rest of the time.
And for good reason.
Yes.
I mean, definitely.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm not stuff on the toes, but yeah, you have to be fair all the way around, and you're going to get the people that obviously think something's going on. But a situation like that, you got to be fair and do it the way it's supposed to be done, and that's the best way you can do it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it was a case where we had a lot of different, we had a couple different, or not a couple, but this was the time where, sure enough, we have 4 or 5 of them in one green flag run, and we're not going to throw it. I'm sorry. There have been multiple times in last season and this season where we could have thrown it, and it would have been a benefit to me, or a benefit to John, or a benefit to Hayes, or a benefit to Chris, and we haven't thrown it because out of principle.
Fair is fair.
Yep.
FYI, gentlemen, I have tweeted the wheel to the CORT World Series account.
Okay. Okay, let's see if we can get a picture of that up for the live stream. Those of you guys watching on Twitch TV, want to appreciate Dakota Ehrman coming and checking us out tonight. Let's see if we can get a picture up there on the stream. In the meantime, Patrick O'Toole, he came home 21st.
Again, seems that he's been having a lot of these, poor finishes, I'll say. I'll put it nicely. And it's really kind of demoralizing. I know after last season he had a couple of good finishes, and he's looking up to New Hampshire. So keep your head up.
Yeah, things will get better, Patrick. Things will get better. If you look on your screen, those of you watching live, there it is. There is the wheel with a Beat Vanderbilt sticker on it.
Yes, because the centerpiece that is there is actually gone.
Never seen that before.
So
that is Corey Stevens' wheel. For those of you watching on the live stream, on the Twitch stream, we appreciate everyone tuning in and checking it out.
It's a bit easier to describe now that you can see it.
Yeah.
But if you see where the fabric starts, that's pretty much where the duct tape is, and that's holding the top part of the wheel even there.
Yeah, so folks, if you're not watching it, it's a G25 like you'll see, and then it's got a big strand of fabric around the entire top of the wheel, and they say that thing's, I gotta be honest, it's bowling shoe ugly.
It's hard. Let's put it that way. It is extremely hard to race.
Well, you've been fast in the National Cup Series. I would hate to see you with a proper wheel.
That is my next investment. Looking at the how do you pronounce it? The Fantech wheels? I'm checking the Fanatic. Is that? I'm not sure. I always forget it. So, but looking into those, so we'll see.
That'd be nice.
That is a contingency sponsor of CORT. That is, but just not Fanatic.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Anyways,
They're good stuff.
Christopher Munger came home 22nd, and he was involved in the incident with Pete Agamanis. They're on about lap 15.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate that Peter died yet again, but it's gonna be kind of sad if he actually does retire. It's gonna be different not seeing him driving a 4.
Yeah, and a lot of emotions this week in CORT, and Pete Agamanis' last Indy 250 saw Pete announce that it appears as if, don't quote me on this, contracts need to be ironed out, but it appears as if Kyle Young will be now driving what was the 4 entry. I believe it'll be changing into the 93 to match Kyle Young's number starting next week at Milwaukee.
That'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah, and you know what? It goes from one great driver to another, and I think it's a good move for PM Racing to make that move. Johnny Williams, unfortunately, came home 24th and was involved in, I believe, the first caution of the night.
Yeah, and you hate seeing that for him because I know he's looking to try to get not only himself better, but his team, and it's not what they needed. But the future is still bright. The season is still young.
Yes, it is. As Chris Sweat unfortunately comes home dead last, 25th, due to connection issues.
Yeah, and that really sucks.
Nothing sets off an angry person quite like that.
He was angry.
And the same thing plagued him in the National Cup Series Brickyard 200 the last Wednesday. So, unfortunate circumstances for Chris Sweat, and hopefully we at D3 and himself can get it all figured out for Milwaukee this week and Iowa this week as well.
There's nothing better we like than a happy Chris Sweat. Smiley face.
Chris Sweat.
Make it sound so weird.
All right, so why don't we do this? Why don't we take a break? When we come back, we'll cover our big announcement.
Big announcement?
Big announcement.
What could that be?
There's a big announcement?
Nope. There's a big announcement.
Let me go get my popcorn.
That was made earlier this week. In fact, shortly after the Indy 250, and we'll be sure to cover that when we get back with the CORT Report. CORTRacing.com. You're listening to the CORT Report.
Reese's. Caramel. You got your caramel on my Reese's.
Great taste, they taste great together. With caramel, Reese's peanut butter cup.
Can I get a light beer?
Sure. Do you care how it tastes?
No, I don't really care.
Okay. Well, when you start caring, just take off your skirt and I'll give you a Miller Lite.
Man up, because if you're drinking a light beer without great Pilsner taste, you're missing the point of drinking beer. Grab a triple hops brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness.
Check it out, I lost the skirt and got a Miller Lite.
Your fly's open.
HP printers and inks give you 65% more pages than bargain inks. Now that's an impressive bargain.
Hello and welcome back to the CORT Report. CORTRacing.com as we review Indianapolis for the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series. They had a hell of a fun night last Monday night. And quickly, we need to cover something. We never covered the points in the last segment, so we'll go ahead and do that here in just a minute. As Tim Silliman, like we said, took the points lead. Tyler Tucker and Will Roberts in a tie for second. Mike Husby with the win moves up to fourth in points. Julian Medor fifth. Andrew Hayes sixth. Scott Olson seventh. Pete Engelmanis eighth. He'll probably drop since he announced he will not be attending any more races for the foreseeable future. I am ninth. John Dragonetti is 10th. We head to the Milwaukee Mile next week. And what do you think, John? The Milwaukee Mile? Equally historic track and equally exciting racing.
And I equally hate it. It's possibly the worst track I've ever driven on. It is. I hate it. It's bad.
It's a flat 1 mile oval from back in the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds, and historic oval, but John Dragonetti, as you can hear, not a big fan of it.
Yep. Nope.
Last season, Alex Boffoli took the win in the event, and he dominated the event, really. And we don't really know if Alex is that good again this year, but I'm sure he is probably going to be the guy to circle the second we head in there for practice.
It'll definitely be interesting. I know with the new stuff he's in with my team, we hope we get the same result for him that he got last year, but who knows? Who knows? Anything can happen.
You got that right. You
Literally.
got that right.
Literally.
Yes.
Literally.
Literally. Should be an exciting one. Once again, just want to quickly touch on the fact that we will be having a test session. iRacing just deployed a new setup for Milwaukee, so we'll be having a test session on Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern, to test out the new setup, 2-hour session. You'll be able to join through the league tab over on CORTRacing.com. Hey John, why don't we go ahead and talk about this new series that we got lined up for the Sunday night slot?
McGurd. I am looking forward to this. I know for a friggin' fact that Riley, who's listening in, is going to also enjoy it. So, starting in June, first week of June 9th, we are going to have a Star Mazda series on Sunday nights at 9. And we already have 21 people entered, so 'tis going to be awesome.
Big field. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys should be there. It's the CORT American Racing Tour. Will Roberts will be heading that division, and it's mainly built to be a feeder series to the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series. You know, CORT Trading Paints Championship Series has always been the flagship as it comes here at CORT. So for us to finally establish not a touring series, but a developmental series, a AAA baseball, a NASCAR Busch series, a developmental tool to help these drivers who might not know how to drive an Indy car in a lower powered vehicle. I mean, the Star Mazda is a fun car to drive, as evidenced by our coverage on Court Vision on Monday night. On Sunday night, I should say, me and Kevin Bartelt with the call on that, and it was exciting. It was an exciting race, and we loved broadcasting it, and we're going to be broadcasting a few more of those races next, starting in June.
WesHicks.net.
Yeah, WesHicks.net. I should mention WesHicks.net, or as Pete calls it, WeShicks.net, will be the title sponsor of that series. WesHicks.net. Go to him. He is an awesome web designer. The guy who built the website that you look at every day, if you got it as your homepage, which I do, because, well, it's...
Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't? I mean, it's my favorite website to go to.
Yeah.
And I'm the one who controls it, and then when I go on my own website and I realize that there's nothing new, and I go, something new. And then I realize, oh wait, dummy, you're the one writing everything on it.
It could be worse.
But yeah, Wes Hicks runs WesHicks.net, and he'll be sponsoring the CORT American Racing Tour, and we look forward to him helping us out with sponsorship and that. And a couple of dates already announced. In fact, all but one is already announced. The series will kick off at Michigan on June 9th. That is fun. It's the Michigan 100 miles, 50 laps around Michigan. That should be exciting. A great way to kick off the season.
You're telling me. We had tests there previously, before we even got this whole thing going, and it is ridiculously fun. Like, you cannot even describe how fun it is.
Yep, and there will be some exciting events, some tracks that we in the CORT or in the Championship Online Racing teams haven't been to before, like Sebring the following week.
And that track is crazy. And in these cars, lower powered but still open wheel, really easy to turn. It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, Sebring should be plenty exciting as a very bumpy former U.S. military airfield, I believe, so exciting to see. A to-be-announced date, but we've heard on the short list, Virginia International Raceway, Barber, Mid-Ohio as possible dates there. So look forward to seeing what that eventually becomes. And then a rare well, it's rare because we haven't had one yet, but a open wheel stock car double header, but not in the way that you think. The American Racing Tour will be heading to Charlotte the week after the Independence 500K at Charlotte. They will be heading there for their event there. That's going to be 50 laps.
Which is going to be also exciting. These cars on ovals just seem to have the best passing capabilities, whether or not it's because of downforce or just the draft effect. It just makes it so hard to pass, but at the same time easy. So, honestly, at every oval, but especially Charlotte, we're going to see a lot of side-by-side racing, and that's going to be incredibly exciting.
Yeah, and that's base content, so all you got to do is buy the car and jump on in. A great way to get new drivers in the series. Then they head to Watkins Glen, the boot course. That is a companion event with the Training Paints Championship Series. That'll be July 14th.
Yay, Watkins Glen, number 14. Woo!
And the road course events are going to be timed at 40 minutes, literally half of the length of the Training Paints events. And then the final Triple Crown race of the season, double crown, I guess it would be for the ART. The Pennsylvania 100 at Pocono, that'll be 40 laps around the 2.5 mile tri-oval.
And if we saw really good racing in the Independence 50, 100, whatever it was, I already forgot, my short-term memory is
Freedom 100.
Freedom 100, my God, I hate my head. We can expect the same thing, if not more competitive racing at Pocono.
Should be exciting because it will require the drivers. I don't know if you'll be able to go flat out at Pocono. Probably not, but it should be pretty cool to see them grip and go around that track as they do. And then our finale, just like every other CORT series, it's going to wrap up at Chicago with the Finale 75.
Yay!
Yep, that will be Chicago, and that'll wrap up their season. A couple of the races, I can tell you right now, Michigan and Pocono will be broadcasted on CORT Vision. We're going to get that going and get that going well. In-house broadcasting for that. I'll be at the helm of the microphone, and I'm hoping to jump into some of these. I'm already eyeballing Charlotte, and I'm already eyeballing Sebring as a couple of races that I really want to run.
Both of those are going to be cool, but I'm looking forward to Watkins Glen just because that's my crack. That is my track.
That is your crack?
Track. It's a crack.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I cannot confirm nor deny if John Dragonetti enjoys upstate New York as his vice. So,
man, this ain't Fight Club.
Yeah, it's not Fight Club. But yeah, this ART has got a lot of potential, a lot of excitement to it, and let's just go ahead and look at some of these signups here. We got some exciting names here. We got Riley Roush. He'll be running the full season, so exciting to see that Riley will come and run some races. Scott Olson, Corey Stevens, right here, as you have announced one car effort in this series.
Yep, I'm going to start up Carolina Motorsports. Be running a Honda. Gatorade as our primary sponsor, and gonna whip out the 24, number 24.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Should be exciting. Corey Stevens, looking forward to seeing you out there on the track with the Carolina Motorsports gang. Mike Husby will be bringing over Menards, which sponsored him in the Cup Series. Chris Sweat will be getting sponsorship from the Target Group. They've agreed to continue sponsoring him. They sponsored him in the Freedom 100. They'll keep sponsoring him here. I have a part-time entry. Unfortunately, Target said we can only spring for one. So, yeah. I'm unsponsored.
Sad face.
For once, the guy with all the logos on his car is unsponsored.
Maybe we can get Wes. Yeah.
Maybe M&M's.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe I'll change my number to 18 while I'm at it. Dakota Ehrman, he'll be driving the ETV Live car. ETV, kind of an ebb and flow when it comes to ETV, TSTV, and Court Vision in this league. Kevin Bartelt will be running a Valvoline car, and Joseph Cervone in the 29. One of the newer names, and as we said, this is a developmental series. We want to see some developmental drivers, some new drivers. Jacob Neuven? Canuven. Okay, like Eukanuba. Canuven.
Sort of.
Kind of, sort of, no. But, yeah, he'll be running for Roush Racing. Carson Abe, and I really think that Carson could benefit from a series like this. Not to say that he's slow, but he has said in the past that he struggles with these higher horsepower cars here at Court. So for him to come into a series like this, I think it'll do him a lot of good.
Oh, definitely. This seems to be like perfect for his driving style, so we will definitely see what happens, and I'll actually look forward to seeing him run pretty well.
Looking forward to it. Eli Salami. Slammy?
Yeah.
Okay. What a great name. Eli Slammy?
That is.
Oh, man. I gotta get out the Botchmania soundboard. Great. Eli Slammy.
Pretty much. Sounds
like a Slim Jim commercial from the 90s. Or the old song from Space Jam, Come On and Slam. You know what I mean? I mean, it sounds like that.
Is that not a great name to announce a victory to?
Here he comes off of turn number 4. Eli Slammy with the win. Come on. It works itself.
Oh my God.
I can see it.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible quality. Damn you, Botchmania soundboards need to be better. Patrick O'Toole will be driving a Bell Helmets entry. Exciting to see him come and run this. Will Roberts, the guy who runs this joint, or runs this series, gets everything going. It's his baby, so support Will on this in the 69 Chive car. John Dragonetti, control freak, and full-time.
I don't like babies.
You don't like babies? Well, that's going to be very difficult then. Because if you don't like babies, and if this is Will's baby, then you don't like Will.
I'm going to shake it.
Wow! That got dark fast!
You are welcome.
Goodness.
Slowly walking away now.
Yeah, Corey Stevens hasn't said much, but I think it's out of fear.
Bye, have a great time.
Yes. No, we're not done the show yet. Hang on. Hold tight. Hold tight, huh? Andrew Hayes will be in the 87. A couple, actually 4, to be announced entries here at the bottom of the grid. A number 88 for Fury Inc. If you guys want to just join a team, talk to Andrew Hayes. He's got an opening. Kevin Bartelt has 2 in the 91 and the 99. Go contact him. And then 703 Racing has 1 extra opening. Be sure to contact Will Roberts about that. And, of course, Kyle Young in the play seat car. And he'll be part-time in that. 21 entries. And, in fact, I think there's a couple that haven't been added here. So,
it's looking like 23, 24.
Yeah, I think this thing is going to take off. I really firmly believe that this could be the new It series on Sunday nights.
And we will see, because it's supposed to be really fun. I think the car and track combinations that we have, it's going to foster some really good racing, and I think we might attract a lot more people because of it.
It's going to be really exciting because you're going to have the guys that obviously need more development running with the more experienced guys. That's going to help them a lot.
Yeah, and not only that, but I don't firmly believe, but I believe this is kind of similar to a kart in slow motion. If you remember the old kart racers from the late 90s, early 2000s, they had the Hansford device, which allowed everyone to pass like crazy, and everyone was overtaking, and they were taking over each other, and there was 200 unofficial passes or whatever, and it was exciting racing. And this is a lot like that, but only half the speed, and it's still entertaining as hell to watch.
It's gonna be like go-karts almost, just higher power go-karts.
Yeah, and it's definitely a great feeder series, and I think this car on the road courses will also lend itself well, because a lot of drivers that come to our road course events in Training Paints and Watkins Glen in the National Cup Series later this year, and they're probably going to go, okay, what do I do?
Exactly.
Yeah, they're going to be like, how do I approach this? How do I get my head around this whole situation here? And it might be intimidating to some, but this is a low-pressure developmental series. Like I said, low pressure, low it's developmental. It's meant to help drivers. It's not meant to hurt drivers. And it's gonna, I think Sebring's a good start track. Watkins Glen, a lot of people know Watkins Glen. And whatever the TBA entry, if it's Barber, it's a fun, entertaining track. Mid-Ohio's always been entertaining. VIR, that's the one that I kind of, even me, struggled with for a long time. So, but hey, either way, it's a win-win, and it's a good way to learn tracks and to learn how to drive these open wheel cars. Because honestly, a lot of people coming over to the Train Paint series from a stock car have struggled with the fact that there's no fenders on it.
And like you said, it'll be a good step up just to gain experience and just to see how a car like that's going to handle for when they make the step up.
Who knows? And hey, this starts the ladder of CORT. It starts the CORT ladder, which is very exciting. Because honestly, you know, who knows what it could lead to? It could lead to even bigger chunks of the ladder being opened up on both the stock car and the Training Paint side.
We should make a ladder.
Do you want to make a ladder?
Yes.
Okay, you're in charge of making the ladder. You get wood and nails and metal. I don't know how you're gonna make a hybrid ladder.
I was gonna say, I don't think you can do that with nails, wood, and metal.
And rivets.
And rivets.
And brawn. And a man.
Oh god, here we go again.
Anchorman quotes, ladies and gentlemen. That is what is getting through this court report this week.
That's Bush League.
That's Bush League. Bush League. Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee, which we will be next week. See what I did there?
I like that.
Next week, we're in Milwaukee.
This guy.
With the Trading Paint series. And we're also in beautiful Iowa, full of a lot of things, like corn and Des Moines, for the National Cup Series. That will be the Iowa Farm Bureau 300. That's next week. Julian Medora is the points leader and the defending winner from last week at Indianapolis, for the last time those drivers run. Iowa, very exciting, and an open qualifying format for Iowa this week. Moving to the open qualifying format due to a little bit of an exploit brought to our attention, and to, police it and make sure nothing goes wrong, nobody tries it. We're going to be running open qualifying at Iowa next week.
If you use the exploit, you're going to have a bad time.
And have a bad time. We're going to know it because we'll be watching you.
Watching you. Okay, that got weird.
Don't worry, this show's been weird for like the past 20 minutes, so...
I know.
We'll be creeping outside the windows.
Yeah, maybe.
Climbing your windows.
Why don't we get out of here?
I like that idea.
Let's get out of here. John Rigonetti, final thoughts.
I love corn.
He loves corn, and we're going to a place that has a lot of corn.
Iowa.
Iowa. Corey Stevens, final thoughts.
I'm very excited about the new series, and I'm looking forward to running at Iowa next week.
So you are going to run? Yes?
I am running at Iowa. I might have found a little bit of speed in the car for the first 5 laps, and then after that, everybody watch out. I will wreck.
Yay! Not for the wrecking part.
Well, it's good to hear that Corey Stevens will be at Iowa. I'm glad that you're going to come and run, and it's good to hear. My final thoughts are this, and I kind of want to touch base on it. We have the greatest members in the world. We have the greatest people in the world. And this league is only going to go up from here. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for coming out here each and every week and helping us out and helping us get to where we are. And I firmly believe that this could be the best league in the world. And I'm a little bit biased saying that, but I firmly believe it.
Yay!
Yay!
We love you too.
You see, this is what happens when things happen. So, anyways, why don't we go ahead and get out of here? We appreciate you guys tuning in. Hey, this has been the 20th edition of the Court Report. Can you believe it? We've done 20 shows already.
We should have confetti.
Yeah, well,
And a pinata.
I can't figure it out on XSplit. But
Right.
we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. So for John Dragonetti and Corey Stevens, Kyle Young and Dakota Ehrman watching in the live chat, we appreciate it. And it should be a good one. So why don't we go ahead and head out of here. We will see you guys next week with a recap from Milwaukee and Iowa. This has been your Court Report for May 2nd, 2013. So long, everybody.
Bye.
Messed up.
Fine, I'll do it again.
Yeah, you do it again.
Bye. Have a great time.
There we go. So long, everybody.